Hola, hola, soy Diana Su y les quiero compartir algunos de los datos curiosos que nos contó el director Jon Favreau sobre la nueva versión de El Rey León cuando visitó la Ciudad de México.
When we made Jungle Book, it was mostly the technology that was used back when they did Avatar, motion capture. Towards the end of when we were making Jungle Book, there was a lot of new consumer-facing technology for virtual reality, for VR. And so you could buy things at the store that were really high-tech, like Vive and Oculus headsets and all of these tools that we were able to use to help us make Lion King that weren't available to us then. So there was a whole new flood of technology associated with gaming and virtual technology, virtual reality technology that we used. And so we basically designed like a multiplayer VR filmmaking game that we operated in. So we built our own game that we built the movie in. So that was something that was unavailable to us during Jungle Book. Each project is a puzzle, and each puzzle has a different solution. So you wouldn't want to do the same thing for Beauty and the Beast as you would want to do for Lion King or for Aladdin. They're all slightly different because you're not just remaking the movie, you're trying to capture what's in the memory of the people who grew up with that film. And that's very tricky. The balancing act is, how do you make it something that when you see it, you say, I just saw Lion King again. Just like when I go see the play. When I saw the movie and I saw the stage show, I said, oh, they're both Lion King. They're different, but they both felt like Lion King. I saw all the parts that I expected, the characters, the songs. Now with this new way of making a movie, can I make it feel like Lion King? And then the second thing is, can I also surprise people and do something new so that they wouldn't just go and watch the old movie? It's not the same thing. So you see, we sort of have captured something that feels cutting edge and new technologically. I know I'm not going to talk about that, but even Walt Disney saw technology as an opportunity to shine a new light on old stories. And then also, hopefully, the characters, especially after you've watched the whole film, you'll feel familiar and you will feel connected to them, and we feel that we've honored what's come before us. We think of the old Lion King as to me, it's flawless the way they pulled it off. But to him, it was a rush production because it wasn't the big marquee film of that year. There was a bigger movie, Pocahontas, and Lion King was sort of the secondary title. And so he didn't have a lot of time to do it. He didn't get to use as many instruments as he would have wanted. So when I talked to him about making this, he saw it as an opportunity to go in there and finish something he started that he never felt. Now we all love it, but to him, he has a different perspective. He has toured with his band around the world and played his scores. He does a live performance, and he says there's such energy when you have a rehearsed band, because normally when you do a score, you show them the music. There's such good musicians. They come in, they play it once as rehearsal, they play it again, they're done. And then the next, they're on to the next cue, because it's time is money, and you gotta. Well, Han said, I don't want to do it that way. I want to rehearse everybody like we're going on the road. And so he rehearsed with the whole thing and then invited all the filmmakers, animators, cinematographers, editors, who never get to be part of this part of the process. Invited them, set up chairs, and did a performance for everybody who worked on the film, the whole score, end to end. And of course you have then the rough cut up on the screen. And I'm telling you, as much as I love how the movie came out, it will never be as moving as it was in that room, recording with live musicians watching the film up there, with the other filmmakers. The people playing were grateful for the images, and the people who made the images were grateful for the music. And I don't know if it'll ever happen again or ever happen before, but to be in that room there for that was, I felt very grateful for this, to be a part of this group. I like him especially because he comes from the comedy world, which is where I come from. So if I have him and Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen, we could talk comedy very easily. It's a shorthand, very easy to communicate. It's a different type of way of directing than it is when you're talking to somebody who comes from a more traditional theatrical training. But then remember, he also sings and composes music and he writes. So he's a genius. And now I look like a genius because I cast him 3 years ago before everybody really knew who he was. And now people see what he's done in the musical space and what he's done as an actor, and he just has the whole package and a very good heart and a dad and a good family man, and also for his, he's a bit younger than me, so he has wisdom that I wish I had at that age that he has. Rafiki was very tricky because, we wanted to make it more authentic to African culture, which I think the transition from the movie to the play gave us a good clue. And we wanted to go even further. We hired John Connie, who's a great South African actor. And then, of course, all of the visual effects that surround, I don't know if you got to see any of Rafiki, but when we saw the camera tests for how photoreal we could make that character, we realized that there was an opportunity here to give that character even more depth and more humanity, because it's the one character in the whole film that has human expression. Most of my favorite characters are filmmakers. Well, Guillermo, right? Guillermo del Toro. He comes through here, from here a lot. He's a character that I love. Even though he's not a character in a movie, he's a character in Hollywood, and he's a good friend. And I love all of them in this film. I particularly enjoyed working with Timon and Pumbaa because they were the most challenging, because they had so much expression in the old film, in the '94 film. And I couldn't use any facial expressions, and the humor had to be updated, because I think each generation wants a different style of humor.
Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
You guys sounded great.
When people laugh or enjoy those performances, I feel very proud of the actors and the artists that have